2023 Extraordinary General Meeting for British Obstacle Sports. Thank you all for joining us. My name's James Burton. I'm the chair of British Obstacle Sports, and I'm also going to chair today's EGM. Before we get started, I will run through a few technical considerations. Please begin by typing your full name in the comments. So that's so at the end of the meeting, we can ensure all the minutes are recorded and your details are added to the minutes as attendees. The EGM should last 1 hour. No, we're going to make sure everyone's muted while we're talking, just to reduce noise disruption. And we will have some time at the end, hopefully for Q&A, and also do feel free to speak when we're going through the resolutions. If you experience any issues, if you drop off or you need issues accessing again, please feel free to email membership@britishobstacle.org and we'll try and help you get on. And yeah, please also note this meeting is being recorded, and we'll upload it onto YouTube afterwards to ensure others can view. So I've just got something on my screen.
Oh, come on.
Okay, so our quorum is 30 members, and I can report that we now have more than 30 members present. So therefore quorum is met and we're able to start the proceedings today. So our mission is to ensure that everyone in the UK can enjoy the endless possibilities of obstacle sports. I think it's a mission number of volunteers and team are working towards and we're striving for. It's not going to happen overnight, but we do believe that the process we're going through to get recognition is going to really help towards this mission of British Obstacle Sports. So thank you all for being a part of this journey. Agenda today, we're going to go through the EGM resolutions. They're going to be really important final items for our pre-application. We're then going to go through a recognition update to show you where we are towards moving to our pre-application with the UK Sports Councils. We then have a few committee updates. It won't be a full AGM update from all the committees, but we've got updates from Shador, from the OCR Technical Committee. I will stand in for Becky and give an OCR Technical Committee update. I think she will be on the call as well, but she's away on holiday at the moment. Then Joe Dawson-Cox will talk through the technical officials, development committee update, and we've also got Sean Wild representing the coach development committee. We'll then give a final few partner updates, see where we are with the EGM resolution ballot results, and then time permitting, we'll do a Q&A. We've got some questions that have already been asked, and you can also feel free to ask any other questions either in the comments now, and then they'll be saved up at the end, or at the time we go through them. And I think Reece Jeremiah is kindly helping to facilitate the meeting today. So if you have any questions, you can direct them to him. I think he is actually down as British Obstacle Sports. If you need to send a direct message, or feel free to put it in the overall chat. Yeah, and as a reminder for anyone that's just joined, please do put your name into the chat. Anyone else you're with as well, so we can record that in the minutes. Okay, so EGM resolutions. We have two resolutions to confirm today. It's quite a formal process if anyone's not been on a AGM previously, but it is a process we must follow to ensure they're officially voted in by our members. So thank you for your patience while we complete this process. We thank you all for taking the time to review the information and vote as well previously. I understand that some of the terminology may be confusing, but do feel free to ask any questions in the comments or by raising your hand to speak. So voting procedure, all eligible members have been sent ballot details to your registered email address in order to vote. Note, this is the only way to vote, and once your ballot is cast, it cannot be changed. You have until 8:30 p.m. today to cast your vote. If for any reason you haven't been able to vote or you can't find the email, you can try and message Reece, so that he's down as British Obstacle Sports, and he can try and help you with a voting link before 8:30 p.m. You have to be over 16 to vote, and you have to be a British citizen or based in the UK to be able to vote. So resolution 1 is to approve the minutes of the 2022 AGM held on December 12th, 2022, and it's been made available to all members. So I'm just going to take a moment. Are there any questions, comments, or corrections on the 2022 AGM minutes? Okay, so I'm gonna proceed and move on to resolution 2. So resolution 2, adopt and approve the updated Articles of Association of UK Obstacle Sports Federation Limited, made available to all members in advance of the meeting. Are there any questions or comments? I'll pause a moment and just kind of give an update really on what we changed in for this resolution. Essentially, back in December, when we went through the updated Articles of Association, we were fully planning to move to British Obstacle Sports Limited, which is now the trading name essentially. So that was all approved, and in our Articles of Association, we actually referred to British Obstacle Sports Limited. As we were going through that name change with Companies House, we were asked to give, essentially British is a protected name. So we had to give an approval letter from essentially a higher body. In this instance, it was Sport England. Unfortunately, only recognised sports can get that approval. And as we're not recognised yet, we couldn't move to the name British Obstacle Sports Limited. Sport England would say we're very comfortable you could take that name on from a legal perspective once you're recognised, and they also are happy for us to trade as British Obstacle Sports. So this resolution is just to deal with the kind of legal technicality of the company name. So we will continue to trade as British Obstacle Sports, but our company name in the background will be UK Obstacle Sports Federation Limited. And that was the only change. Again, it's a procedural one, but one we need to get through before our pre-application. So unless there's any questions, I'm going to move on to the next section of the presentation. Okay, thank you very much. And yeah, if anyone hasn't voted, great to get your vote in. We've got another 18 minutes to vote, and that the voting email was sent to your registered British Obstacle Sports email, or you can message in the chat and hopefully Reece will be able to help with a voting link sent to you. So that is official business complete, essentially. So thank you all for joining. Really important. We need to get to 30 people on the call to ensure that that happens, for 30 members. So now we're just going to go through some updates, and going to start with recognition. So people will be familiar with some of these slides that we go through now, but it's good to get an update in terms of where we're at. So pre-application, a number of elements of the pre-application have been ready essentially since the end of last year. And we've actually had an initial check, and it's only a cursory review from the sports councils. And they've given us some small feedback, small changes, but overall very happy with what we've shared already from a pre-application. So sport and activity, organisation history, affiliation, which is our connection to World Obstacle and European Sports Federation, all good, and we're good to go. And our influence within the sport in the UK, they're very happy with all those elements. That's not to say they might not change their mind when we submit the pre-application. It's not a binding kind of feedback, but it's kind of great news from the development of where we're at with the application. The two things that were outstanding, one was just to fix that procedural update in the constitution, which hopefully is all voted through today, and that's sorted. And the last one, we're so close now, 50 members required to start pre-application. We are counting down the numbers. So thank you for everyone for being members firstly, and also for your support in encouraging other people to become members. I did want to mention, we did have this question actually that came up. As we are based, our kind of company and the legal headquarters of British Obstacle Sports is based in England, we are dealing with Sport England. But Sport England and our application is going to be to represent obstacle sports for the whole of the UK. So they will liaise with the other governing bodies for the different sport groups, so Sport Wales, Sport Scotland, Sport Northern Ireland. So if we are recognised, provided we make the case for all those different regions, we'll be recognised across the UK, which will be great news. So that was just to kind of give everyone that information, just to clarify the process. So we're working directly with Sport England, but they are speaking to Sport Scotland, Sport Wales, Sport Northern Ireland. So hopefully we'll be recognised across the UK, which I think we can make a very good case for. Just to highlight our membership growth, we've had great kind of increase in numbers in 2023, 59% growth in our membership. It's kind of getting us up to almost to the magic number. I did want to take a moment to say thank you to Spartan, because as you can see, they're quite key part of this process in 2023, and the partnership there is really helping our development. In addition to all the kind of existing members who are continuing to support British obstacle sports. And we do expect to be at the point of recognition, pre-application status by the end of the summer. So hopefully in the next few weeks, if not sooner, we'll be able to submit our pre-application. But I guess, and to answer some other questions that have come in as well, while from an application perspective, as soon as we hit that number, we can start the process. We do need to maintain our membership, both from, we do need funds to support the federation, but also the sports councils are going to expect that we're not just going to hit a number and then drop off the cliff. I think, so sustaining our membership growth is going to be important. And we do have the case that we have members renewing, but we also have members lapsed or lapsing in the future. This is to be expected with any membership organisation, but it's just a reminder of how important this is to renew your membership and encourage others to as well. And just to add in terms of the kind of opportunity, I guess, as well, and to encourage old members back, we have 300 dormant members. So dormant members have been members that have been not renewed for 6 months or more, going back to 2020. And we have 224 lapsed members. So in the last 6 months, we've got 224. So we've got around 40 to 50% drop-off rate in terms of membership. So there's things we're trying to do to address that. Part of that is we know it's the admin of just going in and renewing. And we will talk about a partnership to help kind of with subscriptions, so auto renewals in the future. But also there's work we can always do to be better. I know we're a voluntary team, but we always want to develop British obstacle sports and make it a no-brainer to become a member every year. And equally, there's always drop-off from any sport as well as people go into other activities. So that's just to kind of outline where we're at in terms of membership. I think it's really exciting that we've got to such a critical mass of people now. Over 1,500 members is amazing for the sport, and there's so much we can do, but there's so much more we want to be able to do in the future as well. And this is where kind of the next step comes in as well. So pre-application is step one. Once we submit our pre-application, we have a 6-week review window with the Sport England and the sports councils, and they will either accept our pre-application or they will give us feedback to improve, and we'd have to make another submission. If they accept our pre-application, we will have 1 year to submit our full application. As you can see, we've got a number of elements that are at different stages of development. We've made great progress from an OCR competition perspective, coach development, technical officials, especially in the last year of technical officials, as Joe will talk to soon. But there's a lot of other areas where we need to get the formal policies in place and really begin to move things forward. So with this, there's kind of, I guess, 2 parts to what we'll talk through next is one, getting the volunteer team in place to start moving some of these points forward. And then 2, just to continue to reinforce the need to grow our membership and sustain the work we're doing, because things within this will require budget as well. I think you're all familiar with the member benefits, but just to highlight how we have been able to build the personal accident insurance now, the member discounts and the prizes. And we've got various competitions that as a member you can access, which I think is really starting to bear fruit in terms of the growth of the federation. So thank you for everyone for supporting the federation, and also the many volunteers that are on the call as well. It's helped to put this together and sustain British obstacle sports over the last few years. How you can help moving forward: everyone is at different levels of support they can provide the federation. The simplest thing you can do right now is to ensure your membership is renewed early. I know there's so many people who have already renewed to 2025, which is fantastic. They've taken advantage of the 2-year membership offer. One, it reduces admin on your side. 2, it reduces admin on the volunteer side as well, to follow up with different people that need to renew their membership. So thank you again. And again, the number one thing you can do to support British obstacle sports is to ensure your membership is renewed early and on time. Secondly, is spread the word, as so many people are doing. Either at an event, you can join Wendy and the event team that are at different events, spreading the word and talking about British obstacle sports, or just sharing a post, liking a post, commenting on a post, posting, tagging British obstacle sports. All of these things really do help to build awareness of what British obstacle sports is. And finally, volunteer. We have almost over 100 people, I think, that are volunteering in various different capacities. If you've got experience in one of the areas that we saw earlier, in terms of data protection or youth development, all of these different areas that we will need for our full application, feel free to reach out. We'd love to get your support in a consultancy role or a leadership role. All of these different things will help to bring our full application to bear. So I'm going to jump into some committee updates. I always just like to remind everyone of the organisational structure of British obstacle sports, and from a volunteer perspective, just so everyone's familiar with how everything is structured. So we've got the board at British obstacle sports, and I'll share on the next slide. Central to that is the 2 sports, Ninja Sport and OCR, and then there are some distinct committees within those 2 sporting disciplines. So they are purely sport focused within those disciplines. We then have some joint governance committees that are responsible for both Ninja Sport and OCR. These are at various levels of development in terms of how active they are as committees, but that gives you an idea of the structure. As I mentioned, coach development, officials development, they are really kind of engaged, and a lot of progress being made in those areas. And then we've got business functions, finance, membership, marketing, all the different things you'd expect from any organisation, which kind of sit slightly outside the governance of committee structure. And then finally, projects. So it could be the recognition project, could be the rules of the sport that feeds into Ninja Sport and OCR, or it could be events as well. So the junior championships or the adult British OCR championships. Here's your board as well, if anyone is not familiar with the names and faces. So we have myself as chair of the board. We have 2 elected directors, Shador and Honor. Becky as head of OCR, Ali as head of Ninja Sport, and we also have an independent non-exec director, Professor Mike Loosemore, as well. We are all actually up for election this year in December. So we all currently said we're looking to continue. Every 2 years the board is voted on, but we're also always looking for people that are interested in joining the board as well, potentially. And especially people that are already actively involved as volunteers. So feel free to reach out. There's a process we go through for any board members, and there's certain skills that we're potentially looking for, but do look out for potential to join the board if that's of interest to you. As a reminder, we feed into European Obstacle Sports Federation and World Obstacle, and we join various meetings and assemblies at that level as well to represent the interests of British obstacle sports. And finally, a reminder that British obstacle sports is our federation. I'm personally an active member of the community. I compete. You know, I'm an obstacle sports racer first, whether it be OCR or Ninja. I'm doing this because I love the sport and I want to grow. Everyone can support centrally, whether that be in a full volunteer or even if you've got a particular thing that you think is important, you can raise it and potentially it can be voted upon. I think these kind of things are really important when there's a real issue or concern. So hopefully it won't come up too often and we are reflecting the interests of the community. But this is built into our articles of association. So if there's something you really don't like what the sport's doing, these are things that we can potentially vote upon to ensure we're reflecting the community in the direction of the sport in the right way. So I've been speaking for a good 25 minutes. I've got Shador next to give a bit of an update from Ninja Sports. So hopefully he's going to join. I haven't seen his face, but
I'm right here.
Fantastic. Shador.
Hi, evening everyone. And James, great job here. You obviously thank you so much for leading this, and I think anyone will probably share the same sentiment. You're a tough act to follow, definitely. Are you able to bring up my sorry, bring up the next slide? Ah, fantastic. So just stepping in to provide a very brief update on the Ninja Sport Technical Committee. First of all, I've got to say we've had some really great support from everyone, from the wider kind of Obstacle Sport Committee, and we just feed off that energy and what you've done to kind of elevate OCR. You know, it's just amazing, and we've just had such a great vibe, great welcoming environment from all those. So it's great to see. It's great to be able to receive such energy and support, and that's been an inspiration for many of us getting involved in the sport. And just to take things further. So just reading off some of the points mentioned in the slide. Starting off with,
hello, how are you?
I'm all right, how are you?
Okay, I'll just continue. So we had so one of the focuses have been is about developing the coaching course for Ninja Sport, and we had some great assistance from Dave and Sean. Thank you both. And we had a coaching course pilot take place not long ago. That's helped to set up kind of the stepping stones for what will be a very fantastic course going forward, and providing opportunities to many other individuals and people looking to get involved in coaching. So do watch this space. And there's further discussions and groups involved. So if this is something you want to get involved in, then do get in touch. Probably worth mentioning it in terms of my role within the committee is as coordinator. So essentially, I just kind of help move things along where possible and just connect people so that we can achieve our common goal. Now, going on to number 2, which is about involvement within the OCR 100 and the OCR European and World Championships. We had the event in Gloucester at the beginning of this year at the Gloucester Ninja Warrior Park. We had the 100 meters course, which saw some fantastic involvement and participation from cross sections of the athletic community and OCR and Ninja, and it was just fantastic to see such an event. To work with volunteers, to get involved, the technical officials. It was just a great event and really helped set the pace for the event, and meant that there was a lot more people from the Ninja Sport discipline to get involved in more OCR, and seeing that happen and seeing that continue has really been just really inspiring, and so great stuff from everybody involved in that, especially with we've had a lot of athletes who weren't previously involved, now involved in the OCR Euros and the World Championships. So good luck to everyone who are participating in that. Following on from that, see, every year there's been the World Obstacle Ninja World Cup, and it's great this year to have athletes from British Obstacle Sports represent the UK in the Ninja World Cup in Europe, which again was great to be able to endorse such individuals participating. We had Tommy we had Victor, and we had Martin get involved and really just set the pace. So well done to those individuals, and really look forward to seeing more and more individuals getting involved in the Ninja World Cup in Europe, and also in the Worlds as well. Then following on, we had our kickoff event for the Ninja Sport League, and again taking inspiration from the from our fellow athletes within OCR. We've taken steps to establish this league and encourage participation across various venues across the country. We'll see the Gloucester event counted as a league event, and we've developed a league board which contains scores for many individuals, and of course that's just being finalised with a few tweaks. And we have had further events with Ultimate Ninja in Colchester. We've had events at HC Fit as well. We have an upcoming event, league event, take place in Ninja Warrior Adventure Park in Walsall as well on the 20th of August. So details will be shared very, very shortly. And we also have another event at Obstacle Training Ground. That will take place on the 1st of October on Sunday. It'll be a midday event, and some of you will have trained there, others will not. It's a fantastic venue. It has a nice kind of hybrid of OCR and Ninja, so it'll be a really, really great event. So please do get involved, and again, details will be shared, and there are further more events to be planned between now and the end of the year. And then finally, partnerships. Of course, as with, we are actively looking at organizations that will partner and to help strengthen the sport and promote it. We had Obstacle, we had Obstacles. We had a sorry, I'm losing my words now. I guess what can I say? Is that energy? We've had various partnerships, and that includes liaising with Ninja Warrior Adventure Parks, Gloucester being one. We've got Milton Keynes who'd supported the junior championships, and when a stand-up really interested in getting involved again. So again, we're broadening that partnership with thanks to many of the volunteers that are working with the Ninja Sport Technical Committee, as well as and also giving props to other venues such as HC Fit and others. So really looking to expand that partnership further, and so for the benefit of our members. Thank you again to everyone looking at getting involved, and if there are others that want to get involved in the committee and help strengthen the work that we're doing alongside all the other committees, then please do get in touch. It would be great to see you.
No, it's great, Shadow. Thank you for the update. And I think the Ninja Sport Technical Committee and team are really starting to lay the foundations for growth of Ninja in the UK. It has developed in a lot of other countries in Europe and in America far quicker on a sport level. So bringing the Ninja Sport Technical Committee to kind of help that growth now on a sport level, we can hopefully start to catch up. And we're seeing that with Tommy Matthews at the OCR 100. He's I think the first British athlete to qualify for the round of 16 ever in that discipline. So big shout out to Tommy, and then also Beth Lodge, who was the fastest female. So two British record holders there. So exciting to see how it goes, and also the potential partnership with Pentathlon GB in the future, who will have a short obstacle discipline and potentially some great equipment being developed to support their athletes and hopefully our athletes as well. I'm going to give an update from the OCR Technical Committee perspective. One, just to remind people, if they haven't seen, of the British OCR Champs. So we've got one on October 8th this year, the inaugural event. But we're also very conscious that a lot of the Spartan dates, and because these two are hosted by Spartan, a lot of the Spartan dates for 2023 had already been announced before we were able to announce the championships, which means people had made plans already. So we wanted to work with Spartan to be able to announce the June date ahead of time for 2024. Probably not the best marketing plan, but it felt the right thing to do to allow athletes to make a decision on the events they wanted to take on. So we've got October 8th, and then we've also got June 29th in 2024 at Midlands. So put them in the diary. Got a number of people registered already, but we really do want to make the October 8th date a success. Got something news incoming, various different things in terms of British Obstacle Sports Race Director, potential disciplines being represented, prize money, the medals, all these things. We've got a lot of news coming in the next 4 to 6 weeks ahead of the event on October 8th. But we did want to remind everyone of the British OCR Junior Championships as well on October 22nd, 2023, hosted by Swanbourne Endeavour in Milton Keynes. Fantastic first year, and we just want to see that continue. So whether you want to be there as a junior athlete, or bring your children or friends that you know would be their children, they'll be fantastic in this event. And also there's an adult event as well, which members get £5 discount to. The Swanbourne Endeavour, a fantastic, rugged OCR event, a lot of history in the sport. The actual organisers of the Swanbourne Endeavour used to build parts of Tough Guy course as well. So a real heritage event. For the junior championships, we complement it with some obstacles from other organisers to really give it that mix of British OCR racing and technical racing. Going to be a fantastic event, really good value. And as I say, adult event will be afterwards. So come down, maybe volunteer in the morning, supporting the junior athletes, and race in the afternoon. Real opportunity to give back to the sport. A reminder that we've got the OCR World Championships in Belgium, September. Great opportunity to represent Team UK, and we've got over 100 athletes heading out there, so that's really exciting. World's Toughest Mudder, got various Spartan world events in terms of trifecta champs and the Abu Dhabi 3K and beast distance, I believe. And then also 2024, we've got the OCR European Championships in Georgia, so a bit out of the way, but a wonderful opportunity to travel out to a new country, experience a new culture, and represent your country. And we do now have some of the qualification events up on our website. And we are making a bit of a change this year. So we met as an OCR Technical Committee. We felt it was important that if you were qualifying for a short course, you would qualify in a short course event. And if you were qualifying in a classic long course, if you were racing a classic long course, you would qualify in a classic long course. So there's a split. So if you want to run short, you need to qualify at a short course qualifying event. And if you want to run classic, you need to classic course. And obviously you can do both and still as before. So that's on our website. From a short course perspective, there isn't as many events at a short course perspective in the UK. We're kind of having to just slightly stretch to bring in Spartan Southwest Sprint. We felt that was going to be a real fast course and relevant to be included. But we do see this as an opportunity for training centres perhaps, or events to put on smaller distance to really help develop short course racing in the UK. Plenty of classic courses, there's more to be added, but just to see the ones coming up, we've just had Beach Ballistic, Southwest, we've got the Beast, we've got Summer Nuts. It will only be the 7K for Summer Nuts, which is the UK OCR series race. Born Survivor's just been added as a qualification event. And also the Spartan London South Beast and British OCR Championships. Probably the other thing you can see here as well is it's really hard to qualify elite. And we wanted to make that important distinction that elite should be really, really hard to qualify for. And we really want to do, when you're qualifying elite, you're qualifying against the best of the best. So most events are only age group qualification, but certain events will be elevated, such as obviously the British OCR Championship, where you can qualify to represent your country at an elite level for the European Championships. The Pfizer OCR World Championships next year will be a similar selection process to this year. So more details to be revealed on this, but OCR European Championships is on our website in terms of qualification events. And in terms of opportunities to qualify for a short course, it's not been fully announced yet, but just wanted to share. that there will be a 1-lap sprint lap at Nuclear Blast and Blackout in the late evening, just before it gets dark on September 23rd. So if you can't make this Sunday for the Spartan Sprint, another opportunity for a short course qualification will be at Nuclear Races on September 23rd. So I'm now going to pass to Sean. Sean Wild is a member of the Coach Development Committee. He's going to give an update on coach development.
Thank you, James. Hi, everyone. So I'm going to just, if you go on to the first slide, please, James, I'm just going to give you an overview of what we've been up to. So we've been doing a little bit of tinkering around with the original model. We've had a consultation, as Shadow mentioned, around how we deal with ninja coaching. And so this hasn't yet been voted on, but the probable way that we will do this moving forward is to introduce an assistant coach level. So where people do attend the coach certification, whether that be OCR or Ninja, and the Ninja pathway is under development, that they get qualified as an assistant coach. Previously, you needed to have completed something like a gym instructor course at level 2. But we're gonna flip that, and so people can work as assistant coaches at level 1 prior to having more advanced qualifications, in particular a gym instructor course at level 2. And we're going to review that with the Ninja community as well, in terms of whether that's fit for purpose within Ninja as well. So really it's as it was before, but we've flipped that. We've got ready to go the level 3 for OCR. I see that splitting into 3 different pathways at level 3, because I think OCR sprint, that would be 100 meters, 400 meters, the pentathlon obstacle discipline, is quite different to the cross country. There's a lot more endurance running in cross country, so we need to take quite a big element of running out of sprint and maybe introduce some sprint aspects to it. I've already run a pilot on this with Pentathlon Ireland, actually, so there's something ready to go on that one. But what we will be doing probably at the back end of this year or very early next year is to run the first level 3 for OCR cross country, which will then potentially lead into a level 4 in strength and conditioning if people want to go that way to get the level 4. So nothing's massively changed. We just really flipped level 1, level 2, allowing younger people as well to work within training centres to be assistant coaches. You would need to be 18 to operate as a level 2 coach, but you can operate as a level 1 coach as an assistant within a training centre, within the training centre's insurance criteria, etc., etc. So we see this as a really positive development, and we'll vote on this soon to put this in place and roll this out. What we have been doing aside is running our first gym instructors course. So we've run the first cohort of that. Quite an intensive thing to do, because myself and Dave Peters had to train as tutor assessors, and I trained as an internal verifier, because you need a quality assurance process in place. We've got a cohort coming through now. We've done all the online training. Luckily for the guys, they're all doing their online anatomy and physiology e-learning, and we'll take their assessment by early September. We've got the final assessment day, on-site day, running in October. So hopefully, once all of that stuff is through, there's an overview of all the work that they need to do. I say all the work, it's only 40 hours in total, but there's a few assessments there in grey. You can see the delivery that we've been through. So basically, we're off onto the right there. We've done day 1 on site. We're yet to do day 2 on site. The OCR specific modules map into this, which is great. So if you're doing both, there's a big overlap between the two. But that can come first now. So when this slide was actually first developed, it was because this came first, but actually the OCR course can come first now. So this is a great step forward. We'll probably look at running a second cohort once this is finished. Again, that will probably be in the new year. But if it's something you want to do as a gym, if you want to become a gym instructor, it's heavily subsidized. It's much cheaper than you would find out there commercially. So give us a shout and we can put you on the next cohort. It's also the prerequisite in order to become a PT at level 3. And we can run that as well. So myself and Dave are both certified to run the level 2 gym instructor and the level 3 PT course as well. But the level 3 PT course is a diploma level course. It's a much bigger beast. So we need a decent number of people within BOSS wanting to do that before we decided to run it. And that's it really. That's what we've been up to. There's plenty going on. The coaches are being developed. We have all the right people in place, and we'll carry on with what we've been doing.
Thank you, Sean. I think the only other thing I wanted to mention was, if you're interested in, it's been mentioned in terms of this gym instructor course, but just in general, an OCR course, coaching course, or a ninja coaching course, do reach out. We've got kind of waiting lists, so once courses are online, we can make people aware. So just drop British Old School Sports a message, or feel free to drop a note in the chat now. Thank you, Sean.
Cheers.
Technical Officials Development Committee. We've got Joe Dolson-Cox, who is a committee chair, who actually alongside Sean is also an international technical official as well. So the two we have in the UK, we've got a number which I won't steal Joe's thunder, because there might be some more that Joe wants to say. But yeah, I'll hand over to Joe, hopefully, if she's on.
Yeah, I'm on, if you can all hear me. So little update. I'm not going to go on for too long because I know it's late. So we have, I mean, probably a key thing to say is that most of our achievements are now from the last 12 months. So we were quite low on numbers sort of 12 months ago, but we have had an absolutely phenomenal year. And it's down to a great committee and just a huge amount of commitment from everybody on the committee to really push where we've gone. So we have currently trained over 100 technical officials. So that's people that have gone through the level 2 training. We also have a number of officials that have gone through the volunteer training. So they're hopeful that they will continue to enjoy and will move up to level 2. So we've got 100 officials at the moment. We've also, I think it's on the next slide. I don't know whether it is or not. Oh, no, it's not. I'll go back. We've also had quite a few technical officials go through their progression. So we currently have 3 officials. It seems like really no numbers, but we will be getting there, who have hit their level 3. So they are Lindsay McEwen, in fact, no, 4, I lied. James Allen, Lindsay McEwen, Lucinda Clark and Matthew Kirk have all submitted their application and been approved at level 3. I know there are probably at least 10 officials who are currently eligible for level 3. So I am waiting their application. And to get to level 3, you do have to do a little exam, and you have to prove your competence across the events that you've been working at. So that's our level 3, which is a national technical official. We've also got 2 officials in the UK who are now international technical officials, which is our level 4, which is myself and Sean. So again, that's an absolutely huge achievement for the UK. And going forwards at the Worlds, both myself and Sean have been appointed as chief technical official for one of the events. So Sean for the 100 meters and myself for the short course, which again is absolutely huge for the UK, and we'll be really flying the flag for British Obstacle Sports as technical officials there. I know we've got several TOs again going over to Belgium to officiate. So really exciting with that. We also plan lots and lots of courses. So people have been jumping onto courses throughout the year. We have additional things like our Spartan module, which is run by Mike Nolan. So with the idea of the Spartan module is that we're really looking at going through the Spartan rule book and ironing out all the, I suppose, the technical points of the obstacle that our officials need to know. And this is a really key part of our development, in that we want to make sure that the officials are competent and they're comfortable to engage with the racers and make sure they are officiating to such a high standard. So on the next slide, you will see our next course date, which is August the 24th. So if you know anyone who would like to attend, get booking onto that one. And Mike is also going to run another Spartan module in preparation for Pippingford. And I was going to say, with the Spartan module, I've lost his comment now, but we've trained just under 30 technical officials through the Spartan module. So it just shows that our TOs are coming back to learn a little bit more and gain points from doing some CPD. And I'll leave it there on a high note.
Thank you, Jo. Yeah, no, I think it's amazing what the technical officials have been able to achieve in, you know, just over a year. One of our values is excellence, and I think we want that across the sport. And I think if we can do that from a technical officials perspective, to a competitive perspective, to an event perspective and how they're run, I think, you know, it's amazing to see, and it's what we needed to do to ensure competitive racing is fair. And it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's starting to bear fruits in terms of the work of everyone, all the TOs, and giving up their time to do it as well. So thank you to all the technical officials that have done the course, and hope to see many more. It's great for anyone if you're a competitive racer, even to run the course, even if you don't necessarily only officiate once or twice. It's a real learning opportunity. So I do encourage it for anyone who wants to get involved.
And I'm just going to throw in, key point is obviously with the junior championships,
Indeed.
we need lots more TOs for that event. So, you know, if you want to do it and help TO with the junior championships, it's a great way to get involved, definitely.
Thank you, Jo. So we've got about 10 minutes left, so I'm going to quickly fire through a few slides just to update. We've made some good progress in the last year from a partnership perspective. So this is our approved kind of partner list who we've got relationships with. We've got, obviously, as many will know, in terms of Spartan, Tough Mudder, and the support they're giving. I know the community sometimes gives Spartan and Tough Mudder a hard time, but I do have to say they've really committed to the sport and to British obstacle sports with the partnership. They have gone above and beyond. So I do want to give them a shout out for all the work they're doing to help the community in the sport. And I know that they take feedback on as well. So we're starting to see that in terms of the events, and also the work from a officiating perspective that Mike Nolan's doing on that side as well. I will then just wanted to call out a couple more from a partnership perspective. So My Next Match, you may or may not be familiar. We did have kind of an unofficial relationship previously where we were using their membership platform. We've now firmed that up into a formal partnership, and then because of the membership platform, we did move to a different system for a short term while we sorted out the full partnership. So now we have a full partnership in place, and My Next Match has already been being utilised by anyone who's taken part in the FISO OCR World Championship. So all of Team UK are on My Next Match. It allows them really easily to register for the event. For most people, there were a few hiccups. We will start to go through a migration for everyone who's a member onto My Next Match, and it will allow things like the ability to do direct debit or PayPal subscriptions or similar to renew automatically each year. You'll be able to go in and edit your email address or your details, have child accounts, lots of additional things. And then, as mentioned with the World Championships, it's a really interesting platform for events potentially to, because all you have to do, your details are already stored and logged in. You can just sign up to events and pay versus having to enter all your details again. So that's made World Championship registration easier once we got everyone into the system. Finally, yeah, we haven't made a lot of noise about our partnership with Voom yet, but they are a partner. We will be doing a formal announcement but we thought we'd give for everyone on the call, if you are a Voom fan and you'd like to order the product, or you've never ordered it before, you want to try it, we've got a 30% discount for everyone. So it expires at 23:59 p.m. tomorrow. It's the code is EGM Boss, so feel free to write that down. It's a pretty good discount there. We'll have an always on discount of, I think, 17% that will be always available for Voom. But if you wanted to get an extra 13% and get 30% off Voom product, EGM Boss is the code to use. Ballot results. So these are provisional. I took these numbers at 7 p.m. today. We both resolutions, unless there was a major switch in votes in an hour and a half, were passed with 202 votes. Slightly lower turnout than previously, although I personally recognise that one, we weren't necessarily voting for any individuals or anything particularly contentious, and then also we have a much larger eligible voting pool as well. So there will be people that are less engaged in terms of the procedures, but similar numbers in terms of votes in the 200s overall. So thank you again for your support in voting. So we've got about 5 minutes. We do have some questions that people have asked. I will pause slightly just in case there has been any questions, because everyone's obviously made the time to be on the call. I don't know, Reese, if you've got any questions in the chat. Otherwise, I'll go through the ones I've got here. I'm going to take that as a no, Reese, but do jump in if there are any questions that come up, and feel free to ask as well in the chat if you've got a question. Do you have numbers for the British champs yet? So I think this came in from Scotty Barker, because one of the things that we put out as British Obstacle Sport to our member group was, as we've always said with the British champs, it is primarily going to be using Spartan obstacles, but there are going to be some surprises on the course to freshen it up. We're going to have a specific British Obstacle Sports race director that we're going to announce shortly. So it won't be exactly the same as a Spartan Super. That was part of the agreement with Spartan. So you're going to get some surprises on the course. But one of the things, just to be open and transparent, the more people that we have running the race, the more surprises they're going to be, essentially. We are not going to go into an agreement with any organisation to make them lose money, essentially. So based on the numbers, that will dictate the budget available for additional obstacles. We're tracking about towards 50% of our numbers that we want to hit in terms of the budget we'd planned. So we've still got a long way to go, although people do sign up to events later and later. So do encourage you all, if you're planning to run the British Champs, to get registered as soon as possible. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to have a lot of announcements coming out in terms of the British Champs, and hopefully a partnership that will help the British Champs, both the adult version and also the junior one. So fingers crossed we can get that through in the next couple of weeks. This question came in. I wanted to make sure we are answered. How do you decide what races are part of the UK OCR series each season? So primarily the decision is actually driven by UK OCR. So I don't know if everyone's familiar that British Obstacle Sports are supporting the series quite heavily in terms of our involvement, but it's fully owned and driven currently by UK OCR. That may change in the future, but that's something that we agreed in partnership with UK OCR to begin with. And essentially there's a few considerations that go into the selection of events. One is location. So we do want to try as best as possible to have a breadth for the whole of the UK. The second is the nature of the event. So we want a competitive, fair event, and we're always striving to ensure the event is being officiated well, there's a rule book. And so that's part of the consideration, and we're working with events to improve where maybe they haven't got a rule book. So we wrote a rule book with Beach Ballistic. There was one written for nuclear races. The third kind of consideration is it should be multi-brand. Every year has been different brands. It's not been, I don't think we've had we just had a couple of nuclear races in the first year, I think Spartan, but we've really tried to have what unique events to make up the series. I think we've done a really good job of doing that. And then finally, kind of the support we get from if we're completely open, the support we get from the organisation. Are they invested in competitive racing? Which they absolutely don't need to be. Every event is there to make a profit. And to be honest, the fun runners are where you make a profit in obstacle racing. We really respect and want the support for competitive racing, but if an event wants to focus on fun running, we want to help and support them in that as well, because obviously that's what's driving participation, getting people out fit and healthy. So all of those factors go into deciding the series, and we're beginning to shape the 2024 series with UK OCR. Can confirm the British Championships in 2024 will be in the series.
Question from Lou relating to this one. Will there be any longer endurance options in next year's series?
You are jumping ahead. There will not be in the UK OCR series specifically, but hopefully, and Karen McCrory in the OCR Technical Committee is working with a number of people that are interested in driving forward an endurance series, so that hopefully, if we can get it off the ground, we'll be an endurance series in 2024. But we want to keep the thing that you're doing distinct to the event format. So if it's the UK OCR series, will always be that kind of classic distance of racing. Would it be possible to talk to events and put on an Only Women's Wave as discussed on Talk and Dirty OCR? So a big shout out for Megan for getting the Talk and Dirty OCR brand and podcast off the ground. I think that's great for the sport. We want to drive female participation up. I think all these things are possible. I think, Megan, you don't necessarily need a British obstacle sports to help drive that, although if anyone wants to come in and help and support British obstacle sports, happy to facilitate those discussions. I know Megan is already speaking to a number of events to make this happen as well. I think it's a great idea. I think I just wanted to make the point here, yes, let's try and make things like this happen, but also it's on all of us as a community to drive these ideas forward, and the more we can do together, the more things hopefully we can get off the ground. Also to give a shout out, if we're talking new brands that have come out, just a shout out to our Accountability Corner as well. Great to see another podcast. So it's really great to see more and more people just so passionate about the sport and talking about the sport, sharing about the sport. And these ideas are fantastic, and people that have put their hand up and volunteer to own these things, the more things we can do like that, the more we can progress. And this is a key area, obviously, in terms of female development as well.
Another question that's come in: can you sign up to British Champs without having qualified?
So in terms of the qualification for the British Champs, you need to have planned or have done in the 2022 or 2023 series 2 competitive races. So it's quite a low barrier, but what we want to do is we wanted to ensure that people have raced competitively recently before, for 2 reasons. 1, so they understand what a competitive obstacle race is, and 2, that they're supporting the sport beyond British obstacle sports and the Spartan event, you know, the British Champs that's hosted by Spartan.
Is there an open wave as well, or?
There is also an open wave as well. Sorry, I should add that. So there's a competitive wave, which is either age group or elite, or there's an open wave, which is open to anyone. So if you haven't or don't plan to do 2 competitive age group races in either 2022 and 2023, so 2 years, you can do open. In terms of elite, there are elite qualification requirements on our website, and we'll be reaching out to anyone who's qualified to elite to see if they want to stay in age group, if they've registered, or move up to elite as well. So yeah, do check out the link on our website for further qualification details, and reach out if you've got a question on that. Do you have plans to have director of affiliated training facilities? Absolutely. We'd love to do more to promote our affiliated training facilities. It's absolutely on the list. It's again one of those things that we just haven't been able to kind of get to yet in terms of adding it. So again, any volunteers who want to write up some content, fantastic. It'd be great to get that support. But this is something we want to do on the website. We've got a number of affiliated centres. We've added Ninja Warrior UK Gloucester this year and the Active Centre up in Scotland as well. So that's beginning to continue to grow, and we're adding new centres all the time. We're hoping to add one in the Birmingham area in the not too distant future as well. So tied to Lou's question, can we have an ultra champs came in? Potentially not. I think we need to focus. Obviously, if there's a team that want to take on producing an ultra champs, absolutely. But it does take a lot of effort doing all of these things. And actually, if we don't have that structure in place, we lose focus from the recognition process, which is ultimately the thing that's going to drive the sport forward. So we all obviously, as athletes, are excited to do these things. And hopefully we'll have an endurance series that's using existing endurance races. But I don't think in 2024 we're going to have an ultra champs. And then this question came in. I think it was slightly tongue-in-cheek because I think they wanted a guide for themselves. But all of these questions are very valid questions in terms of content that we'd love to produce as British Obstacle Sports. It all takes time. If anyone wants to produce some content and have it on the website, we can certainly give credits to the author if that's of value. We are also hoping to do something with Voom as a bit of a best content of the month or something like that to build our repository on the website, because that's going to really help, especially people new to the sport, come in and learn about British OCR and Ninja in the UK. So yeah, feel free to reach out. This is content we'd love to get included and referenced, or outside of British Obstacle Sports as well. It doesn't always have to be the federation that are leading this stuff. I remember how much Mudstacle, for example, used to produce, and it's great content that got me aware of sports in the UK. We do have a great list of events on our website, and we are hoping to announce something soon in terms of an expansion of that in kind of a map format as well, to really help see what events are in the UK and build the discovery of what's available as a sport in the UK.
One quick question from Lou. Can you recommend a disability course company for finishing the level 2 coach?
We do have some. I think they're on our website, the links, but yeah, absolutely. Reach out and we can share a link there. There's a couple of options you could do. I've realised we've gone over, so apologies, and thank you all for holding on. Just final few slides. Ultimate Season Pass is back in 2024. So anyone that refers, sorry, let me just, this is the prize that Jasper Birch won this year, simply for earning Ultimate Season Pass tickets. It was a big draw at the EGM last year, and his was the name that came out of the hat. Pretty epic prize. He's been going all around the country, taking on all these events for free, essentially. It's back, and we've got people earning tickets. Stuart Jeffries earned loads of tickets for referring so many people. Loads of people who have renewed for 2 years have earned tickets, the Ultimate Season Pass. Loads of the technical officials have earned tickets because they've been giving their time and volunteering. And also people on the British Old School Sports stand have been earning tickets as well. So that's the way to earn a ticket to Ultimate Season Pass this year. Renew, refer, or give. If you refer someone, just make sure they put your name in the member referral box, and then you're in the draw. And now Europe's Toughest Mudder's back in. There's a Spartan ticket back in. There's going to, I'm sure, all of the license events will be put in. So the prize will be worth $2-3 grand again for 2024. Great way to get your season paid for. So yeah, thank you for everyone that's helped support the EGM and made it happen. Thank you for Reese for helping to facilitate. Really appreciated. I am going to close here. Feel free to reach out after if you've got any questions. Happy to chat to any individuals as well. If any queries about British Obstacle Sports or volunteering, or just anything I can help with, just feel free to reach out. And I guess the final mission: 50 more founding members to go. Would love to get there in the next couple of weeks so we can get application over the summer. So yeah, thank you all for attending. Really appreciate your time on a Monday